Welcome back to the deep dive, where we really try to cut through the noise and bring you the most important insights and sometimes surprising facts from tech and, well, beyond. Today, we're diving into something I find pretty fascinating, the Comet browser. Now, this isn't your everyday browser. It's built for AI automation.
Right, and it works hand in hand with Perplexity AI agents.
Yeah.
These are, the smart systems that can actually understand and carry out tasks on the web.
Exactly. So it's not just about clicking links. We're talking complex automated jobs across different websites. Think of this as your shortcut to really understanding where things stand with advanced web automation right now, the potential and maybe the limits too.
Yeah, and our main source here is this really great article called Comet Browser Plus Perplexity Agents in Action. It's basically someone documenting their tests, like a hands-on walkthrough. It covers a whole bunch of real-world stuff,
Yeah.
email, research, even trying some digital design. So it gives you a really good sense of what this combo can actually do.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. You're about to discover just how far these AI assistants have, come along, but also, crucially, where they still kind of hit a wall. So you'll get a pretty complete picture of this cutting-edge tech. Let's get into it. First up, something we all face, the inbox. Email management. Can these AI agents really, help us tame the beast?
Well, yeah, the article kicks off with exactly that, an automation test. Unsubscribing from marketing emails. Simple goal, right? Go into Gmail Promotions tab, find those unsubscribed links, click them, confirm it worked.
Okay, and how did it do?
It actually handled the straightforward ones quite well, where the link is obvious, it shows this sort of human-like logic. But it often got stuck if an email needed a login first or had multiple steps to unsubscribe.
Ah, so the one's designed to be annoying.
Exactly. So it shows, yeah, it can do repetitive admin, but it struggles when systems deliberately add friction. And there's another point. It seems the browser automation isn't infinitely scalable. After a certain number of actions, it gets restricted.
Yeah.
So you couldn't just unleash it on thousands of emails at once.
Right, okay. That makes sense. Still, pretty useful for chipping away at it. But what about stuff that needs more coordination, not just clicking one link, like scheduling things? Could it actually help with that? That seems complicated.
It really could. And that was the next example.
Yeah.
A productivity boost. Creating calendar events. The task was schedule Taco Tuesday for the next 4 Tuesdays.
11 a.m.
Taco Tuesday. Love it.
Ah, yeah. And the performance, they described it as seamless. Comet apparently checked each date and time, waited for a confirmation prompt, and then just batch created all the events.
Yeah, it's created. Nice.
Yeah, and importantly, it still allowed for manual tweaks after it did its thing. If you wanted to change something, you could. Okay, that's actually quite impressive. It shows real promise for that kind of personal assistant support, handling routine stuff easily.
Definitely. It frees you up.
So moving on from productivity, what about everyday things, like online shopping? We all spend ages comparing prices.
Right. Did it tackle that?
Yeah, did they test that?
They did. Comparative shopping. Walmart versus Target. They picked a specific product, a Premier Protein Cafe Latte 12-pack.
Okay.
And the result, Comet figured out Walmart was cheaper by 1 cent.
1 cent. Okay, maybe not life-changing savings, but fast.
Exactly. They called it quick and practical. A perfect example of a little micro task where an assistant really helps out.
Yeah, I can see that. It's not just the cent. It's offloading that tiny decision, right? Those little things add up during the day.
Precisely. Saves that mental energy for bigger things.
Okay, so it's good with routine tasks, structured stuff, even tiny comparisons. That seems clear. It works well where the rules are sort of straightforward. But what about pushing it? Can it handle something less predictable, something needing maybe intuition or visual understanding? I'm really curious there, like design work.
That's a really key question.
Yeah.
And they tested exactly that. Creative automation, thumbnail design in Photopea. Photopea is like a web-based Photoshop, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So the goal was make a YouTube thumbnail.
Yeah.
1280 by 720, black background, big red text saying OMG.
Simple enough concept. How did Comet cope?
Well, this is where it ran into trouble, big time. It really struggled to interact with the Photopea interface. It tried clicking, it tried keyboard shortcuts, multiple methods, but just kept failing.
Why, though?
It seems like these complex creative tools with canvases and layers and visual manipulation are just too different from standard web forms and buttons that the AI is trained on. In the end, a human had to step in and manually open the right project layout.
Okay, so that's a major takeaway then. Complex visual web tools. Not quite there yet.
Not reliably, no. It really highlights where human skills, that visual intuition, are still Absolutely essential. It's not just about seeing the button, but understanding the context.
Right. That makes sense. What about other tricky areas like navigating social media or finding very specific bits of info in, say, comment sections?
They touched on that too, briefly, with voice mode and community tasks on Reddit, and also a research task. Did Wes Roth comment on Fireship's new article?
Okay, how did those go?
The Reddit one tried to go to a specific subreddit, the AI Guild one, and upvote the first post that had only moderate success. It seemed very dependent on the exact page layout and whether the user was logged in or not. Small changes could throw it off.
Right, dynamic content is hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the research question about the comment understood the goal, look for a specific person's comment on a video, but it couldn't actually isolate individual users within the comment section. It lacked that nuanced ability to really parse through messy, unstructured comment threads.
So still struggling with the messiness of user-generated content.
Yeah, context, slang, replies. It's a different challenge.
Okay, let's pivot to something potentially more impressive. A task that spans multiple sites feels almost human. Like finding a recipe and then actually ordering the ingredients, that feels like a big leap.
It does. And they tested precisely that with Recipe plus Instacart integration. The challenge was pretty ambitious. Find a lasagna recipe, then use Instacart to buy all the ingredients from a specific Costco near Palo Alto.
Okay, that's complex. How did it manage?
The results were pretty compelling, actually. It found the recipe okay. It navigated to Instacart successfully. There were some initial hiccups with location settings and login details, but a human helped resolve those quickly.
So a bit of assistance needed to get started.
Yeah, for authentication mainly. But once it was logged in and set up, it added around 22 items to the cart.
22 items, wow.
And it seemed to be using logic, like figuring out portion sizes from the recipe. It even noticed and removed some items that were left over in the cart from a previous test run.
Okay, that's smart. Removing unwanted stuff, that does feel near human.
Right. The key takeaway was, once authenticated, Comet showed a pretty remarkable ability to handle e-commerce, including curating the cart logically.
That's fascinating. So if it can handle complex sequences like that, what about pulling together information? Synthesis, aggregation, things an analyst or maybe a content creator would need.
Ah, yes. This was another area where it seemed quite strong. They did podcast and news aggregation research. The tasks were varied. Summarize the latest episode of a podcast called Wes and Dylan. List the guests on Sequoia Capital's podcast, find the most popular episode, and also aggregate news sources talking about AWS's competitor to Cursor and recent OpenAI updates.
Okay, quite a range of research tasks. The results.
Pretty impressive. It correctly identified the podcast episodes, pulled out the guest names, and even put them in structured tables showing popularity. For the news aggregation, it created this comparative matrix, pulling updates on AWS, OpenAI, Grok from places like X, Reddit, CNBC, Wired, the information.
Wow, across different platforms. That's genuinely useful.
Absolutely. The conclusion was strong research capabilities. The summaries and structured data output would be incredibly helpful for, analysts or anyone needing to stay on top of information fast.
Okay, one last example. Let's touch on something that combines productivity with maybe ethics or user control, posting online.
Good point. They looked at LinkedIn posting automation. The task was simple. Draft and post about a morning routine on LinkedIn.
Draft and post. Automatically.
Well, it drafted the text post fine, like wake up and hydrate and so on. But critically, and this seems like a deliberate, important choice, it required user confirmation before it actually posted anything.
Okay. So it doesn't just go rogue and post for you.
Exactly. No auto-posting without you hitting confirm. That really emphasizes respect for user control and privacy, which is obviously vital as these tools get more powerful.
Definitely. So taking all these examples together,
Yeah.
What's the big picture? When we zoom out, what does this tell us about Comet and Perplexity right now?
Well, the article's final remarks kind of sum it up. The systems demonstrate, impressive natural reasoning. They can handle multiple steps. They can adapt across different kinds of tasks. That's the powerful part.
Okay, but the limitations.
Still definitely there. We saw the issues with complex visual UIs, like in Photopea. Sites with really tight access control, like maybe some email clients or pages needing tricky logins, can be roadblocks. And those high-friction tasks, like digging through unstructured data like YouTube comments, still a real challenge.
Right. So it feels like we're seeing this new kind of interface emerging, doesn't it? Part browser, part AI assistant.
I think that's a great way to put it. This deep dive really does showcase a future-facing automation interface. It has real potential, across productivity, shopping, creating content, research,
So, to wrap up, we've seen some truly impressive steps forward in AI web automation. It can handle your inbox, do your comparison shopping, even complex research. But just as importantly, we've seen where human skill, that intuition, is still key. Especially with visual stuff or really messy data, it's not about replacement, it seems, but maybe augmentation.
Exactly. And maybe a final thought for you listening. If an AI can now handle your grocery list, summarize the news, maybe even draft social posts, what tasks might you think about offloading next? And maybe more interestingly, what new things could that free you up to explore?
That's the question, isn't it? We hope this deep dive has given you that shortcut to being well informed on where web automation is heading and maybe sparked some ideas about how it might change things for you. Think about what stood out to you. We'll catch you next time for another journey into the world of knowledge.